Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Etanyos here. Welcome to this NHL 25 tutorial on how to defend. Today we're going to go over every single defensive mechanic in the game. If this video helps you out in any way, show your support with a like and subscription. If you have any further questions, leave those in the comments below. And if you want to find a specific mechanic or defensive move, make sure to check the chapters and the description because that will be time carded out for you. Let's get into it. So first things first, we're just going to get rid of this puck. We don't really need it. We're probably actually going to put this in the defensive end instead. So by doing that, it will then allow for, Vasilevsky or somebody else. Pass it, Andre. There you go. Okay. So by leaving the puck here, we will go through and it will just make everything a little bit easier for how to defend. So the first and most basic mechanic you are going to need to know for defense is, of course, how to position yourself. So the left stick is going to be very good for positioning, making sure your player's in the right spot. And then in combination with the the left stick for positioning is the right stick for movement as far as your upper body goes. So you'll see a few different movements here. First things first is going to be the shove. The shove is just simply done by pushing the right stick forward. As you can see, Victor Hedman just extends his arms out. It's not an overcommitment, but it's really good for like net front battles, or if you're in here and you want to just, take the player that's coming up the boards and give them a little push to get them off of the puck. Things next is the actual body check. If you want to do a proper body check, you have to actually wind up first. You can see how Hedman actually braces himself and then how he kind of does this more exacerbated, more defined movement of actually throwing the shoulder out and into the opponent. This is going to be done by essentially taking a slap shot with your right stick. Technically, you can press B as well, and this will do a full-on body check. If you hold it down and let go, you'll do a full-on body check. If you want to just do the little shove, you can just press B, and you can see how he's just doing a little arm shove there again, and it doesn't really do much, even though it is a good little mechanic to push guys off the puck and such. The next total control movement we're going to do now that you have B for pushing or holding down B and releasing for body checking is A. A is going to do a stick lift. This is super easy, but you can very easily get hooking penalties too. If you press A just at the right time when you get nice and tight to a player here and then press A, it'll lift the stick just at the right time, and it's super useful for taking the puck off of your opponent. As far as I can tell, Y is only used for board pins, so if you want to pin a player to the boards, you would hold down Y as you skate up to that player. And then it's also used for slashing, so if you hold left trigger and press Y at the same time. The next movement we're going to talk about is again going to be a defensive move, but it's hip checking this time. Hip checking is done by holding down X as your player is skating. You can see Victor Hedman then drops into this really low position compared to his height of normal skating. He drops down quite a bit lower, and you can actually just steer your guy right into the boards, and this attacking player will simply just go right over top of your guy sometimes. Doesn't always happen, but you can time it properly, and it really is a good mechanic for flipping guys over top. Next up, we're going to cover a super basic one. This is the poke check, and again, in unison with positioning, you'll probably use poke check super often. You're going to do this just simply by pressing right bumper or R1 on PlayStation, and then of course you can aim by using your stick. If you want to go to a more advanced version of this and do a stick sweep, all you're going to do, this is really good. A stick sweep's great for when you're coming in defending and you're trying to actually, defend an entire area. The stick sweep's great. You can see how Hedman kind of just swings that around based on how I'm moving the stick. All I'm doing here is holding down right bumper and then swinging my right stick or R3 from left to right, depending on where I want his stick positioning to be. And you can see if I actually hold it, he'll kind of taunt and move there. So that's a fun one. If you just release and then hold down right bumper, you can put it in the preferred position that you want there. A super useful little control that you guys might use but might not use is to switch to last man back. You're going to hold down right trigger or R1 as you're switching players, because that's what you use to switch players in NHL 25. But then you will, in unison, you'll hold right trigger and then you'll click down on R3, and that will immediately switch you to the last man back. It makes it super easy for getting to the guy that you want to be in a defensive positioning scheme. Next up, now that we are actually done most of these different movements and initial defensive mechanics is going to be the block. So to block a pass, all you're going to do is hold down left bumper or L1, and it'll drop your player right down, you can see. And then you can actually swing your stick too if you're, moving a specific way and want to, let's say you commit to a dive block and then the player moves, you can actually swing your stick out by using the right joystick. So I would say if I'm going this way, I want to switch it back, then I can swing, and then I'm already pointed that way to make a defensive stick play and actually just poke the puck. And you can see when you actually poke the puck, if it'll let me. I don't think it will. Yeah, it won't let me because there's no defending player, but oh, there we go. Okay, so apparently you got to be super accurate with this. After the initial block pass, which again you're just going to do by taking your player and just moving into the position you want and pressing left bumper L1, is a dive block. A dive block is going to be super simple as well for getting in front of a play, but you have to time this properly as well. Dive blocks usually are going to be used in a reverse motion. It's very rare that you're going to be going full tilt forward like this and go into a dive. So let's say we're at the point here, a shot's coming in and we want to actually block and dive this, do a full-on diving block. You're just going to press both bumpers together at the same time, or L1 and R1 at the same time, and sometimes it'll go forward like this. This is really useful if you are coming back on a defensive play right in front of your own net right about here, and the defender goes and comes across and tries to make a pass. You can actually dive right out. I like to do it going fully backwards with full speed like this. Actually, I don't know why it's going to the side. Sometimes if you're behind the play, you can dive right out. Facing the other way, your player will always be facing the puck, obviously, so that's why Hedman's kind of coming, lying out sideways like this, but it works very nicely. The next defensive mechanic is going to be a high flip or a zone clearance. You're going to do this by holding down R1 or right bumper and flicking the joystick up. You can, of course, do this as well just by shooting the puck. As you can see, that was just a full-on slap shot there pretty much. But if you want to just flip the puck high and over players, you're going to just do a little wrist shot by flicking the right stick forward while you're holding down right bumper. There are certain plays where you'll actually want to just do more of a saucer pass up the boards like that. If there's nobody covering the boards, that's a good idea, rather than if there's nobody up the middle. I find this year, as well as last year, if you took the puck on a clearance when you're trying to get out of the defensive zone, and you took it from anywhere behind really the face-off circles, it would usually get gloved down by a defender. Yeah, finally, you'll want to think about puck management in your defensive zone as far as not just taking the puck and passing it right across the front of your net from the corners, to thinking about, rather rimming the puck around the boards to attacking or breaking out wingers. It'll make it a lot easier for you not to turn pucks over in your own end, because the AI and players are just a lot smarter this year than they have been in previous years. So that's it for this video, guys. If this helped you out in any way, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and hit notifications. Also, leave any comments for any questions you have. I will try my best to answer them. And that is it for this one. Make sure to click one of the videos on the screen now to learn more about how to get better at NHL 25. I'll see you in the next video.